So we carry on then with distance, speed, time. These are all two-part journeys. Simply put, they're a bit more complicated than the ones you did last week. Okay, so this is my cat, Pupsykins, and when I open the back door, she gets very excited and she runs to the end of the garden at 6 meters per second and then runs straight back again at 4 meters per second and doesn't pause in between. My question to you is, what's her average speed for the whole journey there and back? Okay, so open the door and she immediately runs to the end of the garden, 12 metres away. She does that at 6 metres per second, and then without stopping, she immediately comes back again, doing the whole journey back at 4 metres per second. And my question is, what's her average speed over the whole journey? If you said 5 metres per second, that is not the correct answer. It's the classic wrong answer. And I'll show you why. It becomes obvious if you calculate it. So on the way there, on the way to the end of the garden, there was a distance, a speed, and a time associated. The distance Pupsykins covers is 12 metres, does the whole distance. The speed, I told you, was 6 metres per second. And so the time taken would take her 2 seconds, wouldn't it? But if the numbers are less obvious, remember what we're doing. It's distance divided by speed. We'll give you the time. So 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds. They're the units of the answers. So it gave you the 12 and the 6, and we've calculated the 2 seconds. I put that in red because it's something we've worked out rather than something we were given. On the way back, Pupsykins will have to cover a distance at a certain speed. It will take a certain amount of time. The distance travelled, we can see, is 12. The speed, I told you, was 4 meters per second. And the time taken, therefore, must be 3. Must be 12 divided by distance 12 divided by speed 4. It gives me 3 seconds for our time. So again, I'll put that in red because it's something we worked out rather than something we were given. So I suppose all of these should be red because we don't know anything about the entire journey. I asked you for the average speed for the whole journey. So for the whole journey, there's a certain distance covered, an average speed, which ultimately is the question we're asking for, and a time taken. Well, the distance there and back, 12 there and 12 back, that's 24 metres. Okay, definitely comes 24 metres if you're going there and back again. The time taken, well, it was 2 seconds for the there and 3 seconds for the back. So the journey took 5 seconds. Okay, 5 seconds. So to work out an average speed, speed is distance divided by time. 24 divided by 5 comes out as 4.8. So not 5 metres per second, which most people would think the average is. 4.8 is actually the answer. Now, this happened to be a two-part journey where you're changing direction, but it need not be. I'll give you another quick example. Okay, so here's another example then. For another two-part journey, we're going to travel from A to C via B. And I'm giving you some information. The distance between A and B is 6 kilometres. The distance between B and C is 3 kilometres. Slightly different information for the other parts though. I've given you a speed here between A and B, but a time taken between B and C. Same idea as before. My question is, what's the average speed for the whole journey from A to C? So with all two-part journey questions, you should lay them out in the following way. We've got the parts and the whole. So the first part is A to B, and there's a distance, a speed, and a time associated with that part. We're given the distance, 6 kilometres. We're given the speed, 24 kilometres per hour. Those units are consistent, so we've got no problem there. We can work out the time taken by doing the 6 divided by 24. 6 divided by 24 is 1/4, so that's 1/4 of an hour. 1/4 of an hour. You can write that as 0.25 hours if you like. Okay, if I SD that, 0.25 hours, but be careful, that's not 25 minutes. Okay, 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes, so you can have it in minutes if you prefer. Okay, that's the first part. For the second part, B to C, well, there's a distance, a speed, and a time involved. Distance we know is 3 kilometres, that's given. Speed's not given, but the time is 30 minutes or half an hour. Okay, half an hour or 30 minutes. I'd like to work out the average speed. Well, speed is distance divided by time. So let's do the distance 3 divided by the time divided by half is 6. So 6 kilometres per hour. Was the speed. Okay. Ultimately, we're trying to find the average speed for the whole journey A to C. So in the journey A to C, then there's a distance, a speed, and a time. All of these need to be worked out, so I do them all in red. So the distance is 6 plus 3, so 9 kilometres. The time taken is 45 minutes, or 3/4 of an hour. It's up to you what you prefer, but for the sake of calculating in sensible units, it's going to be the 3/4 of an hour, or 0.75 hours is what I need here. So speed is distance divided by time. That's distance 9 divided by time 3/4, or 0.75. So 12 comes out as 12 kilometres per hour. The numbers won't always be this nice. You might have slightly more awkward numbers. That can happen. You might get a decimal. It doesn't mean you've done it wrong. You very often get fractions like twelfths or sixths when dealing with speeds, but don't worry, you know how to work out, say, 1/6 of an hour. That's not difficult. 1/6 of an hour is 10 minutes, isn't it? That kind of thing. So they shouldn't be too awkward for you. They are always laid out in this way, where you say, well, look, there's parts and there's a whole. There's 9 numbers associated with it, a distance, speed, time for each. At least 4 of them need to be given to you. So I do them in black and red for the purposes of these examples. Maybe you'd like to do the same when you're working them out as well, because that allows you to pick out all of the information given in the question. That's the black. And then the red is what you're then calculating by means of either the triangle, distance, speed, time, or by just like adding. So 6 plus 3 was 9 to get us that one. We've added the 2 times together to get this time down here. Okay?